This is Burundi National TV broadcasting live from Bujumbura, the economic capital city of the country. It's time for English News edition. On the presentation, you are alongside the Evariste Nyonguru. Straight to the headlines. The Burundian First Lady Angela Ndayishimiye, who also serves as president of the Bon Action Umuganiza Foundation, took 5 hours in India to share experience in terms of reproductive medicine. The government will prioritize the use of its own properties instead of Bon Action Umuganiza Foundation took flight towards the Republic of India this Tuesday. The purpose of the visit is to share experience in terms of reproductive medicine at Ikra Hospital and International Research Center located in Calicut. As I was saying, also on top stories, on Tuesday, the Minister of Burundi visited state-owned houses rented out in the communities of Mugere and the Mukaza in Bujumbura province. Following this visit, Nestor Ntahontuye stated that he had observed that the rents paid by the tenants occupying these government-owned properties were very low, while the state itself rents other buildings at a higher rate. The government then will prioritize the use of its own premises before resorting to renting additional properties. Jack Soira calls for more details.
Before heading to the field, Prime Minister Nestor Ntahontuye first held a meeting with the provincial administrators in Buhumuza, during which explained the purpose of his visit, which has to assess the state of government infrastructure. Nestor Ntahontuye pointed out that it had been observed that some public buildings are rented out at very low prices, while others are not being used at all. A similar meeting was also held in Gitega province, bringing together the administrative leaders of that region. The Prime Minister, accompanied by the Minister of Agriculture and representatives from the Ministries of Infrastructure and Finance, continued his tour in the communes of Cankuzo, Ruyigi and Gitega to inspect the public buildings located there. In Cankuzo, he visited buildings belonging to the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock, where he found that some were being rented to private individuals, while others remained unused. In Ruyigi, he visited the former provincial office and recommended that various public services make use of that building. It was also noted that some buildings under the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock in Ruyigi were being rented for only 50,000 Burundian francs per month, an amount deemed far too low compared to the actual estimated value by the government. In the commune of Gitega, the Prime Minister and his delegation visited the buildings of the Institute of Agronomic and Zootechnical Research, as well as the Family and the Community Development Center. It is worth noting that at the end of the tour, he announced that measures would be taken to better organize the management of public buildings.
Yes, after Gitega and the Buhumuza, the Prime Minister Nestor Ntahontuye also came back in Bujumbura, and the notice was the same. Jack Soira calls it once again.
The Prime Minister of Burundi, Nestor Ntahontuye, began his visit in the Lukamo neighborhood, formerly known as Oyua, located in Kinindo Zone, Mugere Commune. This area includes more than 50 houses occupied by families. The visit continued at the premises of the National Office for Water Transport, where one hangar is rented out and another building is being used for commercial purposes. The Prime Minister also visited the headquarters of Cogerco, in charge of the cotton sector, and the Odeka, in charge of the coffee sector, where 3 hangars are currently being rented. He also toured a building in downtown Bujumbura, originally intended to house the city's mayor, but currently rented for 1 million Burundian francs. Finally, he visited a building owned by the University of Burundi, also rented, located on Uplonai Avenue. At the end of this tour, the Prime Minister noted that many state-owned buildings are rented out at very low prices, while the state pays very high rents when risen from private entities. He announced that moving forward, the government will prioritize the use of its own infrastructure before considering renting others. He also recommended that as part of the ongoing administrative reorganization of provinces and communes, provincial and communal services should be relocated into the premises of former administrative entities.
In this Tuesday's edition of Public Affairs News, we turn our attention to the port of Bujumbura, which is currently undergoing major rehabilitation. A stone breaker water built to safeguard the boat docking area is nearing completion. According to the site managers, constructions of the quay is scheduled to be finalized by the end of this month of November. Reported by Marius Mohigo.
Here we are standing above waters of Tanganyika Lake. The engineers in construction of the site have chosen better to separate water in two parts using a modern technology. One at right, another one at left. They are currently reinforcing the retaining wall of Bujumbura Global Port. The site manager explains that works are progressing well.
Our progress is around 40% from the approved planning. You know, the main activity here is the breakwater, and in our planning we should finish the core of the breakwater around at the end of November. The progress is very good. It's still even before we can finish, and the other activities here in the port are the revetments of the breakwater and the construction of the quays from the other side. The construction of the quays is already started, anticipated also. Even before ending the core of the breakwater, we have started already from the other side the preparations for the construction of the quays. The blocks are under construction. 60% of the quantity is already finished, so the works are ongoing, mainly according to the planning, and even a little bit in advance to have some margin in case there is some emergencies or any delays from any side. We are already anticipating to not complicate the progress of the project.
Here, we'll let you know that the completion of the global port construction is scheduled for May 2027, according to the existing agreements.
The end of our news edition. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.